Hey guys, what's going on? This is the Gent here. Today I've got something quite special for you. On Saturday the 19th of November, an Aussie server called Pipsi.net hosted a first-person manhunt with cash prizes up for grabs for taking out a specific group of people confined to a certain area of the map up north, as shown here. I was fortunate enough to be in the event running solo. Personally, I prefer running solo just to avoid any conflict of, oh, is that you? Who just shot? Are you in the green backpack? All that kind of stuff. Throughout the night, the Pipsi Twitter was tweeting out clues as to their location. Now, it's salient to tell you the group of people who the rest of the server were trying to hunt were a very organised bunch. You only have to look at the target's YouTube channel in the description below to understand that. His name is Vigilante Gamer. Some of you might have heard of him, certainly if you're in the Oceanic region, you probably have seen his channel. An absolute master tactician. He's very organised, absolutely hates dying in DayZ, like, he hates dying. He actually said that in the briefing just before we all got into the server. He was saying he just does not want to die. He would have been willing to surrender if the opportunity presented itself, but we shall see if that happens. You know me, I like to roleplay, so maybe it did happen, maybe it didn't, we'll see. And amongst the bodyguards was Boydy, who's ex-military, and unless I misunderstood, if he's not a fullback, at least he partially contributed money to the potential kitty for a massive, I think it was $500, so big shout out to him, big thanks to him. His channel is also in the description below. It's really fun. He does a lot of interactions in DayZ episodes, which are really fun to watch actually, along with all the admins, especially Match, who was working her ass off posting the kill logs into global chat in real time as they happened, and later posting the full death logs in the forums. Cheers to all the admins. It sucks you didn't get involved in the event, but as long as you know it was a ripper and you did a great job. Anyway, due to the high cash prizes and the skilled players we were up against, the rest of us knew we'd have our work cut out for us, and we were all pumped and motivated to win. That made it so much more exciting, so much more challenging. Now, please do enjoy. I had a blast playing, and I strongly recommend you sign up to the Pipsi forums if you're in the Oceanic region to get notified about the next event. They've always been free to enter, but donators to the server get preferential slots. Fair enough, really. I wasn't in a position to be a donator, I wasn't a subscriber, but I was about 6th reserve slot, and I got in with about 5 to 10 minutes of the event starting, so it's not too bad either way, really. Anyway, depending on how fancy I intend on being, I'm going to try and use the Arma 3 editor and some Frankie on PC map skills to give a greater context to what's going on throughout the footage, so I do hope you enjoy. I log in close to a little farmhouse just west of, forgive me for butchering the name, Nargonyo, I think is how it's pronounced. I know this area pretty well as I used to have camps in the area, and I pretty much know my way around by feel if I've just got a compass. The first clue had already been out for about 10 to 15 minutes, so it was a bit of a stale breadcrumb. However, I headed in the general direction, which was the pond near the Ratno electrical station, southwest of my location. I assumed there would probably be people around the military base west of my location. It just seems like a logical place to log in to me, which is why I didn't log in there. So I tread carefully, going from tree to tree and scanning my horizons. This is such a powerful tactic in a first-person server and gives you a real adrenaline rush which you don't get in third person. I see another tweet with a clue pop up on my other screen. It took me a few seconds to try and work out what it was getting at, as I assumed the formatting with the capital N and referring to a long forgotten place might be referring to Novo, to my east, or Novaya Petrovka, far west from me. I wasn't really sure, I was in two minds about where to go, and it was quite literally one way or the other. I find out after the event that this was just a typo and I was reading far too much into it. But there you go. So I falter for a bit until I get to the next clue. Probably about 10 to 15 minutes later, I decided to head west, which is towards Novaya Petrovka. I didn't think they were in Novaya Petrovka, but I just thought it would be more likely, if they're staying within the red zone, that they'd be more central, rather than going right to the edge of the red zone. So that was just the way I was thinking about it. So the next clue, 10 to 15 minutes later, clearly says that they're at the military base that I was just at. By this point, I was closer to Svetliarsk, so I had like a 5 or so minute run to get back there, so I hightailed it back. I get the next tweet claiming that someone in my area had just fired the SVD at this military base just ahead of me, and they were heading to a town to the west. I didn't hear the shot because DayZ bug, you know, hopefully fixed with the Eden update, but I knew I was hot on their tails, so I decided I wanted to stick to the eastern wall and head along the northmost wall for the most cover on the outside of the wall. I also made my mind up pretty fast that they must be heading to either Kamensk or Krasno. I figure it's least likely that they'll go to Krasno, so I'll head in that general direction and go down to Kamensk if needs be. So the next tweet was pretty blatant. It's just telling them we're in Kamensk, come and get us guys, sort of thing. And just in front of me right there is a tower that overlooks Kamensk, so I'm weighing up the pros and cons of going up there. Oh god. Just heard that and that was fucking close. As I was aware, there was a time limit and there was probably about 20 minutes left, maybe 15 of that time limit. I didn't want to leave it all to the last minute, sniping from a kilometre away. That's just boring for me, I hate that. And it's also boring to the guys who were gracious enough to put on this event at Pipsi. So I made the decision I was going to continue the attempts to push the objective, running on adrenaline alone. Might check Twitter. Knew it. Oh no. Okay. Jesus, that was loud. Bucket. Yes, it is somewhere. Guesstimate zeroing 700. Oh, that was good zeroing that.
The day is getting on. The market traders pack away their wares. The hours spinning by. I listen for your footfall on the stairs. I'll never hear your voice. Call up to me again. And love is an addiction that makes beggars of us all. And I shall take whatever comes my way. A glimmer in the dark attracts my restless eye. I throw away a remark. Your love is like the leaves upon the tree. Someday those leaves will fall. And winter comes to stay. And love is an addiction that makes beggars of us all. And I shall take whatever comes my way. And I saw my old blue coat today. But the cold sick rain, it's not going anywhere. Like me, it's here to stay. I love you like the rain.
No!
A million flakes of
Yep.
snow.
That was my big ending. Dying from my own grenade because I didn't see how short the throw was. Something that is obviously a game mechanic issue, seeing as in real life I would know how to throw things at a safe distance. Oh, it was awful. I was so pissed off, guys. And the icing on top of the cake, after you die in the event, there was a room in the TeamSpeak for everyone. And after the person who had won, he came into the room. He was the one I tried to kill. The person who won the event was the person who I was trying to hit with that grenade. How infuriating is that? His name is Africa. He played very well. He played a good game, that guy, and well done to him. He deserves that money. Yeah, I was that close to him. Ah! Oh well, life is unfair. To be honest, Vigilante Gamer, the target, probably had it worse. He accidentally stepped on a friendly landmine, if you can call it a friendly landmine, shortly after I died, and Africa just ran up to his body and grabbed the note, and it was like, yeah, why not? Anyway, fantastic event, couldn't have asked for more. Adrenaline-fueled action. You probably noticed I stopped commentating and editing the footage as much when the shit got real at Kamensk, just so that you could feel a tenth of the tension that I was feeling. I kept on moving despite every urge in my body, every fibre of my being, just telling me just to go fetal and wait till it all blew over and don't move. But I'm so glad I made myself keep pushing and pushing. It just made it so much more exciting. As it turns out, in the debriefing afterwards, the unofficial debriefing, I found out I happened to be so close to the targets for most of the hour and a half I played. Like, obviously you can tell from the hindsight of me being able to explain to you what the Twitter messages were. But, I mean, there must have been a point where we essentially crossed paths when I was on my way to Severograd. And they were heading straight up to the military, so we must have crossed paths, but just obviously we were just out of time, we couldn't see each other. But yeah, that was mental. Thank you so much to all involved, and especially the Pipsi community who hosted and put up the cash. Links to everyone involved will be down in the description below. Please check them out, let me know what you thought in the comments, and take it easy, everybody.
Love is an addiction that makes beggars of us all, and I shall